Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am actually scrapbooking this. I can't explain this with science, but the cup you drink your coffee out of matters. This is true, okay? Absolutely true. I have a coffee cup on my table right now. I would turn it, but you can't see it. It says, I would agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong. So coffee cups matter. I've pulled out a bunch of supplies. So I'm going to scrapbook this with this. So let's see what I can do. All right, guys, so I am starting out by measuring something on this background sheet of paper. So this layout was created way back in January. It was a video I had recorded leading up to Follow a Sketch February. And since Follow a Sketch February covered the entire month of February, and then we had 30 days of sketches, this one has kind of just been sitting on my iPad waiting to be shared. So we're going to go through this layout together, and I might be as surprised as you are with what happens here. Because I don't remember what this background paper is at all, and I really don't remember why I did what I did. But apparently I'm covering up this orange color, and I'm not happy with the exact placement of this black and white dotted paper, which is a paper house paper. And as you can see, I've got some of that limey green basic gray, which is always a good time. I really loved the basic gray kind of solids paper that were just, you know, a little bit distressed. They weren't overly distressed, they were just nice papers. And this is one of them. So I have a variety of products out here, and I am scrapbooking this screenshot that says, I can't explain this with science, but the cup you drink your coffee out of matters. And this is definitely true. I enjoy a good coffee cup. You guys have seen other layouts that I have made with my coffee cups. And it's just a good time, you guys. Like, I love coffee cups. Let's be real. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to layer this up, and what I'm doing is using a 6x6 paper pad, and my photo is also 6 inches long, so I am just kind of staggering the photo mats so that I can leave the photograph at a full 4x6, and I can still use these pieces of paper. So I do go ahead and get that down, and I've got this acrylic always that I cannot even tell you where it came from. It's just been in my stash for a hot minute. I'm going to use the Beehive stencil from Scrapping Reflections with some ink, and I am just going to go ahead and place that down here on either side of the page. So I've got it over here on the left upper and then the right hand lower side. We're going to add in some stamping with this little, it's either a plus or a crosshatch depending upon how you hold it. This is one of my kind of stamps that always stay right here on my desk. I've got a couple of them that are really good to use as repeated background stamps, or just give you a little bit of extra pizzazz. Now, I did not stamp a whole heck of a lot the past 2 months with the sketches. I think I might have done it a couple times, but I did have stamps pulled out for the Never-Ending Kit. So I've only done one layout with the Never-Ending Kit. That was yesterday, and I have not used stamps on that one, but I promise they will be used. There's some other things in the Never-Ending Kit if you haven't taken a peek at that. I've got some alphabet die sets. Really excited about the kit that I have going on here. So apparently I still wasn't happy with the placement of that paper, so we're going to move it around yet again. And then I'm going to, looks like, build a cluster over here on the left-hand side. So what I am trying to do is figure out the best placement. And I like how that always kind of covers up where that ticket ends, and then it also overlaps the photo. Now, I felt like I needed to have a single color behind the word always, so I'm going to cut out this little bit of blue paper from the 6x6 cut apart sheet, and then I'm going to adhere this down to the layout as well. Now, I probably could have scrapbooked this this phrase, this screenshot of a phrase, along with a coffee cup or me drinking coffee or any of those things, but ultimately I decided not to do that, and that is completely fine, right? Like, you're allowed to scrapbook words. You're allowed to scrapbook without any photographs. You're allowed to scrapbook without any words. So do what you want. And I felt like this was, you know, appropriate right now, since I'm, you know, at the time I was a half a year into my Starbucks journey as a store manager, and it was just feeling very coffee-esque. So I felt like that was really, you know, important to document, right? So I'm going to go ahead and add some pop foams to this heart, and that is just because the heart was kind of teetering with the multiple layers of paper that I had. So I didn't want that to happen. Plus I figured it would be really cool to add in these metal edged vellum tags. Now this is also something I have put into the Never Ending kit, and I did use one yesterday on the layout. Of course, this is a tag, so it cannot have a naked tag hole. I'm going to go ahead and dollop a little bit of that Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, tie my twine into some cute little bows, and go ahead and get that down here on the layout. So I've been able to have a couple different textures here. We've got paper, we've got stamping, we've got metal, we've got vellum, acrylic, and also the fabricy bits with the twine. So I'm happy with the variety of textures and products that are getting on this layout. And then of course I'm going to bring in some wood veneer and other things as well. I do love an all paper layout. I do love an all flat layout, but I also love layouts that, you know, uses a variety of things, and you can kind of mix and match the things that are going on. So I definitely wanted to bring in the wood veneer. I like the color, I like the texture, and I'm just going to figure out what is the best way to make this happen. I do have this flare badge with a cup of coffee on it, so I felt like the colors were a good match, and the theme is obviously a good match, so it should probably make it onto the layout. I've also got this book plate, which it's been a hot minute since I've used book plates, you guys. They are still in my stash, and I have used them a lot. Back in the day, I loved me a book plate. Give me a book plate with a tag sticking out of it, and I was a happy little scrapbooker, right? Like, that just was the epitome of scrapbooking back then for me. What I am doing here is just trying to figure out how I want my embellishments to get on the page, how decorative I want this layout to be. And then obviously I was off in my stash looking for some other things, because I did find some other things. Doesn't look like I end up using them, but that is completely fine. So I'm just trying to figure out now what things I should bring in, if I should cut apart these labels right here. Just, you know, doing the things that are going to finalize the layout and bring it all into a nice cohesive thought. Because I have embellishments kind of started but not finished, and it's just a matter of making sure I get them finished. So I'm bringing in this kind of lime green label, And then also the teal label because they coordinate with the colors that I've already got going on in the layout. Now, if I really wanted to give myself a big, bold pop of color, I could have used one of the hot pink ones that were in there as well. However, I decided that it was going to be a little bit better with coordinating colors instead of something that is going to kind of draw your attention that says, look at me. I do, every time I talk about this and how, you know, a little pop of color, an unexpected pop of color can really just lift your layout. It also can be super distracting. So, you know, if you're doing a really soft layout and you're, I don't know, you're celebrating the birth of your child or something like that, and then you put this like a garish chartreuse on there, and it's going to be like, what the heck did you just do here? But there are times, there are definitely times when a little pop of color that doesn't exactly match, but it might not even exactly coordinate. It can go a long way, right? Some people don't want to do that kind of experimentation, but, you know, I think it's fun to try the things. Evidently, it wasn't that fun to try the things for this layout, though, because there's no hot pink on it, or at least that I can remember. I could be a liar. It's been a couple months since this layout was done, you guys. All right, so I'm going to layer up and finish up this embellishment cluster down here. So I did my thing that I like to do, and that is putting a tag in a book plate. I've got the wood veneer that is overlapping, and then I'm going to pull in these little chipboard bits. So these are from Dusty Attic, and there are a couple different ones. And I'm just going to kind of figure out how exactly I want that to look on the layout, in addition to figuring out how I want the embellishments to go. So I've got these paper flowers that have rhinestones in the center of them. These are a Hobby Lobby purchase. I also have these adhesive brads, which you guys have heard me rant about this. These are not brads. They have no brad tines. They are like enamel things encased in metal. Enamel things encased in metal. That's what they are. But that's okay. And I'm just trying to figure out how to make this work with also these acrylic teal bits that are kind of like feathery, a little bit feathery, a little bit leafy. And it's just a matter of figuring out what exactly I want to do. So I guess this was back when I was having a heck of a time with my Nuvo Deluxe glue. It goes through little spurts where it just doesn't want to behave, right? Like it clogs. I'm like, come on, you know, get over yourself and work. Like I know you can. So yeah, most of the time it's probably my fault. The lid isn't on all the way, or I don't set it upside down. But sometimes I'm like, what the heck are you doing? The glue is perfect, like it's being placed upside down. The lid is being tightened on right afterwards, and you're still clogging up? Come on now. Which is part of the reason why I keep a few stick pins really close at hand. It's super handy to unclog those thin little bottles. So I'm going to go ahead and washi tape the back of my layout. You guys know I do this, and you know why. It's super important to me that when I'm moving layouts around, they're not being damaged by other layouts, and I just want to prevent that from happening. So as you can see, I am really loving the way that this layout is turning out. I like the chipboard piece that I have going over here on the cluster. That tag hole is still a bit naked, but don't you guys worry. It will not be naked by the time this layout is finished. So, oh, there we go. Dollop in that Nuvo Deluxe adhesive down there so I can tie a pretty little bow and stick it right on top of that tag. And then there we go. And in each of the tags, I did use the same twine. I could have mixed it up. I could have used a couple different ones, but in this case, I wanted the continuity across the twines, so I went ahead and did that. Now I'm looking at this layout, trying to figure out if there's anything else I need on there, if anything's calling to me. I'm thinking I'm going to be adding another one of those chipboards. It feels like the thing to do. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. That was a big yawn. I've had quite the long day together. Had quite the long day today. So tired that my mouth is saying words that my brain is not thinking. That's just the way it is. So I am going to figure out where exactly I want those chipboard pieces to go and get them glued down on the layout as well. Now I'm thinking I don't color these. I don't remember coloring these. But like I said, it's been 2 months since I completed this layout, so who in the world knows? Right? Right. So, yeah, so I had a black tea boba today for the first time. I really enjoyed it. My shift supervisor bought me one today because I did have such a long day at work. So it was super appreciated. And you might be thinking, Sandy, you weirdo, you work at a Starbucks and somebody bought you a boba. I'm like, yeah, they did. No, we don't have it. She got it from someplace else. But you know, sometimes you just really just appreciate a gift that someone gives you. And I certainly did appreciate it. So I'm bringing in this bright blue color, and I felt like it was important to get some more of that bright blue color down on the layout because it is behind that heart. Now, I find it interesting watching me scrapbook a layout that I did a while ago because I can kind of look at it and tell where my thought process is. Every once in a while, I'm doing something where I'm like, what? But in this case, I can tell that I'm moving that chipboard piece around where that flare badge is because that chipboard piece has that rounded area. So it's going to nestle around the flare badge. I put that rhinestone up there because I have one down in the bottom cluster, and also it nestles nicely within that chipboard. What I can't remember is if I colored the chipboard or if I left it natural, but I'm thinking I left it natural because we're coming to the end of the video and I'm gluing the sucker down. So that's a pretty big hint, right? Right. So we're just going to go ahead and add glue in to all the things so that I can get everything stuck down and have this layout finished. I am trying to bring in those leafy, feathery things one more time, but it really doesn't work. It feels really weird and awkward putting them on the layout. So we're just going to put them off to the side, and then that is going to do it for this layout, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining me on this kind of stroll down memory lane from 2 months ago. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, all the things. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.